Hey y'all, welcome back and happy new year to you guys. So I just have a quick video for you guys with these cute goddess braids that I did on my daughter's hair. Y'all, it was quick, it was simple, it was easy, so let's get into it. So here I am on my very first braid, and I'm just showing you guys how I'm feeding in the braids because I did do knotless braids on her. And to me, the size of these braids might be like medium large size, so the parts are larger, like the squares are larger, and the hair that I'm feeding in would be a little bit more than like a medium sized braid, so maybe medium large. So I just keep feeding in more and more hair as I go, and she already has a lot of hair, but I just feed into my index finger and my thumb, and that'll just keep the braiding hair in place when I start to do my braid. And as you can see, the first few braids that I do, I'm kind of doing it in like a motion where you would do an actual cornrow instead of like a regular braid. Then once I'm finished feeding in the braid at the beginning of her hair, I'll just flip my hands around and start this braiding motion. And I'll say I'll probably won't add in another piece of braiding hair until maybe the middle of her braid. Her hair is already pretty thick and I'm doing larger sections. I don't want the braid like big and thick. I just want it like a medium large size, so that's why I do it that way. And the way that I braid, I know it's very slow, but to me, I'm just braiding slowly and trying to pull the hair taut so that I'm making sure that all of her hair is in the braid and that the braid isn't loose, because if it's loose and then you put the hot water on it, you know, to set the hair, that actually loosens up the hair as well. So I just want everything nice and tight. So at this point I'm adding more hair, and I'm just holding the hair between my middle finger and my index finger on my left hand, just so that it stays in place so that I can continue the braid. So I noticed it looked lumpy right here, so I just released the braid and took out the braiding hair and just started again because I didn't want to do my poor little baby like that. So again, I'm just starting off at the same place, and I'm putting the hair on the middle leg and the third leg. And then that third leg, I am going to wrap that around and hold it with my middle finger and my index finger. And then I'm going to continue the braid. And I'll show you guys this a couple more times throughout the video, but I just wanted to show you, if I feel like I mess up, I will take it down and just continue. No problem, very easy. And the one thing that I struggle with the most, besides braiding quickly, is the parting. I just feel like I have to keep going over it multiple times just to make sure that the hair is parted and the part looks nice and crispy. So if y'all notice that a part isn't nice and crispy, be nice. You don't have to say nothing about it, okay? So I'm gonna section the hair into 3 different pieces because that's what I'm gonna grab, and I'm gonna start braiding it like a cornrow. And that's just the easiest way for me to pull in extra pieces. And if I don't feel like I've grabbed that hair tight enough in my little cornrow position, then I just redo it. That's what I just did there.
Run fast from a day job, running fast from the way it was. Jump quick to a paycheck, running back to the strip club. I'm never going back, never going back. No, you can't make me. Never going back, never going back. They never take me. I paid enough of petty dues. I put enough of shitty news. I had a thing for dirty shoes since I was 10. Love dirty men alike. Ooh. Today, then catch today. Ooh, I just take it day by day. Ooh, never hearing what they say. Ooh, I just do it my way. God, these broken hearts, I ain't got no time, just burning their life. Still love and still love.
Starting on the front part, I like to make a part down the middle so that I know what I'm working with. I like it to be even on each side. So I know that if I put a part down the middle, then on either side I can do the same amount of rows. And I think I only did 3 rows, so I already finished the first row off camera. That's the bottom section that you see that's braided, and this is going to be the second row. And again, I am struggling with parting her hair. If y'all have any good tips on parting hair, let me know, because seriously, I struggled. I didn't even show you guys off camera how many times I stood there and parted this one section of her hair. I went ahead and parted the 3 little boxes on this row just so that I make sure that everything is even before I start braiding. You want to do this up front because if you start braiding and you notice that your little squares are not even, then you know, you got to take down braids or you got to take the L. So I went ahead and made sure that they were as even as can be. And now I'm going to start braiding this front little piece. And this gel that I'm using is, you know, it's a staple in the braiding community. It's just this good old shine and jam because I don't know what else really works out there. If y'all know something else, please let me know down in the comments. So I am just gonna start on the front section, and I'm gonna take out a little bit of her baby hair because she wanted a little bit. Nothing, not too much, y'all. Like, you know, I'm just doing a little bit. I'm not doing nothing crazy, but she wanted me to take out a little bit of her baby hair. And so I'm gonna do that up front so that I don't braid it into her hair, obviously. I'm gonna take my 3 sections and start my little cornrow. And then I'm gonna start feeding in the hair. And again, all of her hair is pretty thick, even around her edges. So I don't typically feed in more than like 3 or 4 at the very beginning. So in this video, I am leaving in a lot of me braiding just in case anybody wants to learn, because I am doing it slowly. Right here, I'm just showing you guys how I'm feeding in the braid in between my pointer and my thumb, because that just helps me hold on to the braid as I continue to wrap each leg around each other. And so I'm just feeding in another little piece and just doing the same process. So basically, you're just holding 3 legs. There's always going to be 2 legs in one hand, and you're just going to keep grabbing hair from the opposite hand, and that will help with this cornrow style. Now when I flip the braid over and I'm braiding it this way, I'm actually putting each leg, I'm grabbing the hair from the middle. So You put one under and then you grab what's under it with your opposite hand. So easy enough. If you watch it long enough, you'll get it if you don't know how to braid. All right, so here is the finished product. It was 53 braids that I braided. So now to put in this hair, it's the Kima braid water wave style, and they didn't have a 1B, so I had to get a 2. It wasn't that bad, but I could tell a little bit, not really a lot, but so these little pieces are pretty thick, so you have to separate them. The first time I separated them, I didn't understand that the way that I was doing it was wrong. If you see it get all tangled up, that's what happens if you don't let the little strand of hair separate where it wants to. So I was just forcing it to separate, and I had to figure out a way to make it look a little less frizzy. So right here, I'm going to take my little crochet hook and stab it through her hair, which sounds very aggressive. I just find a little hole that I can fit it in through, and I'm just trying to figure out what looks best, like where should I even put this little section at. So this is where I figured I would put it, and I just put it inside the little latch hook, close the latch hook up, and then pull it through. I'm not going to pull it all the way through, I'm just pulling it a little way through because I'm going to make a little knot with it. So open it up, pull the rest of the hair through, and pull it tight, and yeah, there you go. And if I felt like the strands were way too long, like past her braided hair, then I just cut it, and it still looked really good to me. So on most, or maybe all braids, I only put one piece. I didn't want to do too much. It was my first time, and I just didn't want to do too much. This is the point where I figured it out, y'all. Just let the hair separate on its own. There's no need to force it. It'll fall and separate where it wants to, and then you can just pull it from there. I still had a tangle or two, which ended up being fine. So after I separated the hair, I realized, you know, it's really frizzy. Why don't I just go ahead and throw some mousse on that bad boy? So I went ahead and put mousse on this, and it was brand new, y'all. So don't worry about the frizz, actually. Just go ahead and throw some mousse on that bad boy. And if it's human hair, I'm sure that the quality will be much better. This was not human hair, so that's why I got all the extra tangles. Dang. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I had already dipped her braids in hot water and set those braids before I started with the curly pieces. I'm not sure if I'll do it differently next time and just put it all in hot water after I do everything. I don't know how that'll affect the synthetic curly hair, so I'll see next time. So now you guys get the gist of it. I'm gonna go ahead and speed up these next few clips. I'm gonna fill in the hair where it needs to be filled in, and we'll come back and show you guys the finished product. All right, so we added in all the wavy hair, and here is our mousse that we're gonna be using. Very generous amount, and I'm just gonna slap that onto her braids and these wavy curls. And I just wanna make sure that the wavy curls, because once again, it's synthetic hair, it is not human hair. I just wanna make sure that it's not tangled up. Obviously, the longer she has them in, they're going to tangle up, so I want to make sure there's no tangles up front. And if I did find tangles like I did right here, I just cut it off. You know, we not about to tussle. I'm just going to cut it off. And of course I added a little more mousse up top so that she doesn't have any flyaways and that her roots are not frizzy. And here I am just doing her little edges, trying to make sure that it looks good and patting away all of the mousse that you can see. And voila, this is the finished product. I thought that it was absolutely beautiful on her. All in all, it only took me like 4 hours to do because the parts were larger. When she saw herself in the mirror, she was acting brand new, y'all, because she loved it. Leave me a comment below and let me know how I did. Please like this video and subscribe for more content. See you guys later. Bye.